everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sam. I'm mum with two boys. I live with a couple of chronic illnesses. I have got fibromyalgia, I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome / hypermobility syndrome, and I have now got some issues with my heart that I haven't got 100% diagnosis but likely POTS. This is going to be my first year camping while dealing with POTS, so that is going to be something different. We're going to have to see how that goes. But I did think I would just sit down and do a little bit of a video on kind of, I suppose, little hints and tips that I have picked up along the way from camping, since obviously I've camped since I was probably about 3. We've done camping holidays, and in fact the campsite I'm going to, or I will be at when this goes up, I've been going there since I was 3 years old, and it's a lovely, lovely site. I'll link it down below actually, because I do know they're really busy at the moment, but it is a lovely site. They've got a big outdoor pool, they're currently building an indoor pool, they have arcades, entertainment, and it is just a really, really nice campsite. And they've got caravans as well. So yeah, I thought I would do a little video on kind of the things that I do to kind of help me along the way with camping and chronic illness. One of them, the big one, is try and have a think about things you may need while camping. Sometimes we have little things that we use when we've got chronic illness that we don't use all the time, but obviously if we're at home, they are to hand. So thinking about things like that can really, really help. My big one for that is this for me, because I often forget it, and it's really hard, it's really expensive to buy in a pharmacy, let alone I actually get this on Amazon. What I'll do is I'll link things down below that I can link. This is Hyperfix Tape. This to me is the best, like, I wouldn't say it's not waterproof, but like showers and things like that, this is the best tape for that. And it's also really hypoallergenic, and it doesn't irritate my skin, which lots of adhesives does. So this is quite a wide one, but you can get them in different strengths, but it's like a little, it's good for making plasters and also first aid and stuff. This would be something I would naturally normally forget, so this is coming with me because of I use it mainly to tape down my fentanyl patches once they start to lift, and with going in and out of water, that happens a lot. I've also created a little med pack. This is just my med pack. So I've made sure that I've got enough of all my medications. Now, my pharmacy and my doctors won't do me, say my script happens while I'm down there, they won't do it early for me. So making sure you know where your local chemist is and like the address so that you can ring and have a script sent down to where you are is another tip. And also I've got in here, in fact, I've got a couple on my lap. So this is like just like my normal medication, but I like to keep them all together in something that's sealable so I can have easy access to it. I'm also going to add my pulse ox into there because that'll be really handy if I'm having some issues with the POTS side of things. I'm also packing loads of my CBD products. Now these are gifted to me, but I've been using them for very close to a year now. So I'm going to pack my little CBD gummies. I've got, I think these are just, oh no, I have got cookie in the hand. So I've got, oh no, these are all brownies, but I do have some cookies as well. These are really handy for throwing in backpacks, I find. And I've also got, which is in my own pot because I shared it with my mum and stuff, this is their chili heat rub. So it's like deep heat, but you only need a smidgen, and I find it's really, really great. It's got CBD in as well as being like a deep heat rub for my joints, especially if they become sore and irritated. I really do like that. So these are going with my meds. I'll leave these things down below. I have a discount code as well, which will be down there. So I'm going to take those with me. I think a lot of this is thinking about and planning as well. So we are in a motorhome this time, but if I've camped in tents lots, so my top tip is camp beds, but not just a camp bed. I also use what they're called, a self-inflated mattress, and they're normally about this kind of thick. You can get thicker ones that are self-inflate, and those on top of a camp bed, you aren't low to the floor, so it's easier to get out of, and that little bit of cushion helps with not being on just the camp bed. You've got a little bit of cushion in there. Now, I hate sleeping bags, so I always take a quilt and my pillows off my bed. And I make sure I've got enough pillows if I need to put one between my knees and things like that to kind of really give me some comfort. I make sure I've got my pillows. They're non-negotiable for me, pillows and my own quilt. Another thing is, it can get pretty cold at night time. Now, cold can really affect me if it sets into my joints, because if I want to be sat out in the evenings when, say, there's campfires or we're playing games, having a drink and stuff. So thinking about the cold is another thing, because normally summertimes we don't really think about the cold, don't think about what we may need. I like to actually take a dressing gown with me, but if you don't want a dressing gown, some thick jumpers, always pack a couple of pair of thick fluffy socks. And a hot water bottle, believe it or not, is one of my top ones. Not just for keeping me warm while I'm sat out in the evenings, but also about half an hour before I'm due to go to bed, especially in a tent, I will slip it in between my mattress and my thingabob quilt to take the chill off the sheets, because they can get quite cold when you initially get in. And for me, initially getting into something cold like that can make me sore, and then that makes me then not be able to sleep as well. So those are massive. Also, if sleep plays a massive role, so if sleep impacts your next day, so it impacts your pain on the day after and stuff like that, and you are a light sleeper, I really suggest earplugs. So those are kind of my things that you can kind of, I just wrote things down here, so I'm going to open this up, take with you to kind of help. But there is also little things like not being too hard on yourself, in the sense of, if others in your group want to do an activity that you don't think you can manage, it is okay to say, no, I can't do that, you go and have fun, I will enjoy some downtime at the tent or by the pool. This has got a pool, but by the pool. So I also suggest either a book or maybe a laptop or tablet that's got some films on it, so that you can have some downtime. I don't sleep very well. I don't go to sleep till hours after everybody else. So I like to have something I can watch films on. So I always pre-download episodes, because of Wi-Fi can be really spotty. Not Wi-Fi, but use internet signal can be really spotty. So it's really ideal to, while you're at home, either download them on the tablet or stuff, or onto your phone, so that you don't need the internet to watch them. Another little one is, sometimes, okay, we can speak to people beforehand about, I may need some downtime or whatever, and you don't really know how the holiday's going to go. I often run on adrenaline when I'm out camping or in any of those kind of situations, and I will push myself past the point I really should do, because I want to enjoy it, I want to whatever else. So allowing yourself to verbalise when you are suffering more is a big one, and that is really hard for me. I find that really hard, but it's only been probably the last couple of years that I do find that a little bit easier. I'm often grouchy if I'm in pain, but I also think, like for me, mornings are really hard, because I would often wake up a little bit stiff and sore and stuff. So being flexible with your days is one thing, but obviously also sitting down and saying, okay, we can't go and start a day out until 11 o'clock, say, or something like that, that you allow your body to kind of, you're not rushing straight off the off to kind of get out and do things, because we all like to cram so much into our holidays and stuff. But it's okay to take things slower, and you'll sometimes have such a much more an enjoyable holiday if you give yourself that space to say, it's either okay to start later in the day, or it's okay for say dad to take kids off, or other friends to go off and do something that you can't do. If you are wanting to join in with things, even if it's like a slow walk to the pub that's in the village or something like that, footwear is a massive thing. Whether that is buying a new pair of memory foam or gel insoles for your trainers, little things like that, that thinking about before you go away can make a massive difference, a real big difference. I also love the campsite I'm going to because it's got a bath. In fact, it's got two. So often, sometimes in the afternoon, on those quiet days where I've chosen not to do as much, I will ask my dad to watch the boys so that I can go and have a bath and chill out. I'll often take a bath bomb with me just so that I can have. They are really small. They're meant to be in the family bathrooms for washing kids, but in the middle of the afternoon, they're not many used for that kind of thing. So I'll go and have a bath and I'll chill out. So I think also that leads on to sometimes thinking about where you're going to camp and what you need out of a campsite. I don't know what the word you want to call it. It's not quite wild camping, but I love being in just a field with a building that's got a shower block and a toilet. But those for me have to be shorter trips. So those for me kind of really have to be more of a weekend trip, or I kind of have to really plough in those down days for me. Talking of down days, I really hope this has made sense. I find like I've gone off in all different millions directions. Is making sure that I have scheduled in down days before I go and down days when I come home. Because, like I say, I often run on adrenaline while I'm there, like many people would do. Do you know what I mean? You want to enjoy things, you'll push past your normal no boundaries. So I will often be in a bit of a flare-up when I come home. And for me personally, that is okay. My holiday and the enjoyment and the memories I make is okay. It outweighs having, whether that is 5 days at home where I take things really slowly, or there is nothing planned but home days. That is okay for me. Now, sometimes that is a little bit different if you've got, say, young children, really young children, and it doesn't work as easy as that. But it is something to factor into, that even if I go abroad, I know when I come home I'm going to need down days. So it is something to be a little bit conscious of. I'm trying to think of any more before I go. I can't think of anything else. But yeah, I hope this helps in any way, shape or form. I think hot water bottles and heat in the evening is a big one. Also, if you can get electrical hookup, it does massively help. If not, USB banks are probably your best bet to charge devices and things like that. Yeah, I shall see you all when I'm home, and I'm going to be having a lovely time. I'll be probably sat by the pool as you're watching this, or no, it'll be evening, won't I? Sat with the entertainment anyway, or playing bingo. So I shall see you all really soon in my next video. Goodbye!